Have you been struggling with a body weight or self-image problem? Do you have pain in your body? Are you living with frequent colds or the flu? Or even worse, a diagnosed incurable disease? How would you like to hear that none of these issues are real? How would you like to hear that all of these problems are illusions, figments of your imagination, created by incorrect information and limited beliefs? In fact, it's my life passion and purpose to inform you that you don't have to live a life in lack or limitation any longer. I am here to say the poverty mindset can become a thing of your past. You can step into your abundance. You don't have to be controlled by fear or anxiety. You can fix or heal your relationships. You can raise up your energy. You can learn to love yourself. You can step back into the very best version of you. You can heal your life. It's totally up to you. It's your choice. It's your decision. You are the power that can do this. You are the creator of your life. Each and every single one of us has this power. We all have access to the infinite divine root energy that is available to each and every one of us. We can command and direct this power out into our lives. We all need to get the truth. We all need new information. We all need to overcome the brainwashing. Every one of us needs to stop the incorrect thoughts. We all must rise above the wrong, limited beliefs that we have accepted and allowed to form our current reality. The truth is, you have the power. You can lose the weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. The truth is that there is no pain or disease that is permanent. There is no circumstance that you are stuck in. You can overcome any situation that you wish to in your life. You can do it now. You can begin today. You do not need any pills. You don't need any potions. You don't need to buy any powders or any medications. You have everything that you need to change your life. Welcome to my weekly YouTube broadcast show about weight loss, about healing, and about improving performance in any aspect of your life. I'm your host, John DePass, the Melon Man. Welcome, everyone. I've got a special treat to start off the new year. The Melon Man is here, and I've got Miriam and my big mentor, Elatom, here with me today. I'm so grateful for this time to spend with the both of them. I've never had a chance to speak with Miriam before, so I'm excited about that.
Me too.
And it's a great time of year to do this. You know, the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
I think this is a key time because people are talking about nutrition, thinking about nutrition, thinking about food, thinking about their goals for the new year, thinking about how the last year was and how they want the new year to be.
Absolutely.
Do they want it to be the same or do they want it to be different?
Right.
And this is the choice that all of us have to make, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a decision. It's a choice.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing about it is, like, since I've been on this path for the 18 years living on prana and seeing this journey, every year I can see myself improving with these little changes because our body is designed not only on daily cycles and weekly, but yearly cycles. So there's something in everybody innately where they say, I think I'm going to try to do better this year. It's like that inward voice.
Exactly, it is. And can I just like jump on what you said about the little changes? I think this is very key. I used to think that for my New Year's resolutions, I had to make big changes. You know, I had to think big, have big goals, big objectives. And I realized that small changes, but consistent small changes, that was bring the most results. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll give you a free example. I wasn't working out for some times, although I grew up in, I was raised in a family who was exercising, and I grew up doing 10 years of ballet, like dancing, you know, ballet. But I did stop for a while, especially when I was starting my business. I didn't exercise at all. And when I wanted to start again, I was starting to do hours, and it wasn't working. Like most people, you go to the gym and you do, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours every single day. And after the first week or a couple of weeks, you quit, that's it. And then I thought, how about you just do 5 minutes, Marian? And I was starting 5 minutes just in the garden, like literally in the backyard. And I was just running, doing simple things, and every single day. And then,
absolutely.
Yeah, after 2 weeks, I was adding a couple more minutes. After 3 weeks, a couple more minutes. And at some point, I was coming to the stage I am today where I go hiking, you know, almost every day. I exercise naturally every day. It's just part of the life. It's integrated. That is the key point. Integrating everything you want in your life every single day, even a little bit, because that matters more than anything else.
Absolutely.
Consistency always pays off.
Very important advice. I like the small incremental changes as well. But the thing is when you're making a change, I think, is look at it over the course of the week. I like to evaluate each week, and I say, you know, what little bit of change did I make this week? But it's to try and keep that little bit of change going consistently, right?
Yes.
It's to try to maintain consistency with the change.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think people too, when it's relating to their health, and this being our vehicle that we live in, they can understand incremental changes when they're starting something new, like playing a guitar, learning a new job, you know, working with wood or anything. But when it comes down to the physical body, somewhere along the line, everybody's waiting on this instant pill, this instant gratification.
That's right.
And it's the same mode, just like you're learning any other skill. See, life is a skill. It's like an art. You'll get better at it as time goes. But at least put in the effort, stay consistent, and you'd be surprised because we are working with, ultimately, light and sound frequencies on everything we do. And this is where we at now in our knowledge and our understanding. It's more than just you are what you eat. You are what you think. This is all a thought process. And this is what makes it so great now in the age that we're in.
Exactly.
I think I should just quickly mention here, in case people that don't know, Elatom is a breatharian, and Miriam is in the process of becoming a full-time breatharian. And
hopefully one day.
One day at a time. I'm hopefully in that process too. I'm a hoping breatharian.
Right.
But what it is it's trying to move our energy, rather than gathering it from food, but to be gathering more energy from the prana or the universe or what's around us. So Elatom eats very little or not at all, Elatom?
None at all.
None at all.
Well, let me catch humanity up. See, a lot of this knowledge is ancient, and we have the symbolism that's around us, and a lot of it is clothed in religion. But at about the early 1900s, this new wave came about dealing with the New Age movement. And what they did was they came with a series of new definitions, new words, and everybody kind of jumped on the bandwagon. But after World War II, it kind of faded And then about in the 1960s, there was a second wave that took place. You know, with the veganism hitting America and the more open-minded thinking, bringing it back. But now, if you really want to understand this is like the third wave of these new concepts that have been here. But what makes it easier now is due to the external technology, because more people are understanding the cell phone, how a computer works. You got to download something in order to get a new printout, and they're relating it with their lives. So now when we deal with prana, it's a whole lot easier if you want to actually call this the third wave of we dealing with this phenomenon. And this is a good age we're in, because this is the first time where we can actually manifest something that we used to say was spirit that was invisible, and see the power and the proof of it through our lifestyle. Being food free is not far-fetched. This is a holistic lifestyle. Everybody can make room on their health. There's an epidemic in the first world countries dealing with health and of preventable diseases. That means they did not have to happen. That right there is an indication of we have gotten away from our center, which is ourselves. When you come back to your center, this is like natural. It's not a fight, it's an allowing. And this is why when I teach us about have fun, allow it to take place, and you will get there when you incorporate these new habits in your life. And this is so simple right now. I mean, I'm saying it because I'm there, but I assure people I'm having great successes with my retreats. Everybody's really sticking with it. Everybody's still sticking with each other after the retreats. And from 2015, when we did the first Pranic festival in America in San Francisco, where breatharians actually got together instead of working separate, from there until now, 2019, I know myself, I have touched thousands on the planet. We got other Pranic people doing work all over the planet. Within the next 10 years, this will be natural phenomenon that it exists for all of humanity, without a doubt.
Wow, that's such inspiring news, because many people right now actually take offense to me talking about the possibility of not eating or you know the unrequirement, the non-requirement for food and vitamin and mineral. Like a lot of people get upset about that.
Oh, absolutely. But see, look at this. Knowledge always increases. It's been increasing itself. That's what we do as being human. And right now, like when you look at social media, you see fasting is on the scene, intermittent fasting, like never before. Even the hospitals is requiring it. 20 years ago, when I went into the doctor's office, it still had the old food pyramid. But when I left America 2 years ago, they had the meatless diet. So it's an evolving mechanism that takes place. So of course, when this knowledge first hit people and you've been educated with the vitamins, minerals, that's understandable. But as time goes on, and knowledge is always replacing itself, even in the medical field, it's not staying the same. And people are waking up more and more, and it won't be long, like I said in my victories, that the people who used to fight against me is not fighting anymore. This is like real. Nice. It's a reality.
Nice.
And people are really getting offended, not because it's not true or don't make sense. What this does is put responsibility back on the individual. This isn't no government conspiracy. You know how you feel when you eat something. You know you live in an energy. You know breath is a lifeline for you. Clean air is a lifeline. All we got to do is get back to the basics and allow this process to work. Yes, you get tired from negative thoughts, being a mean person. This is basic 101. And I love it.
Miriam,
yeah.
Can you share a little bit about your current path and where you're at with food right now, and maybe some things that you've learned about the unfooding process?
Absolutely, yes. As you said, Elitam, as you said first, actually, people do get this triggers people, okay?
Yes.
But I believe it's totally normal, because see, back when I became a vegetarian in year 2000, so 19 years ago now, that was already something new. I was going to school, I was 12 by then, and I was going to school and nobody was understanding, you know? So even the grown-ups and the kids around me, I was getting so criticized, and at such a young age. And I think it's even harder when you make a choice that seems so natural for you, okay? Like even overnight, and people question you, and people get offended because you set up something new, another model, another example, and this triggers their lives, this triggers their beliefs. But it's also human and understandable, because I think you really like think your entire life, you know, you really think your entire life around. You
have to reevaluate, right?
Exactly,
Reevaluate.
yes.
Yeah.
And something very important that I learned along this path is that reaching a point of, or growing our freedom in one area, means that we actually have to grow our freedom in all other areas as well. Okay, so for one to understand that, you know, food freedom aspect, one also has to understand the other aspects of freedom in our life, like more freedom in the professional way, freedom emotionally, freedom also sexually at some level, freedom mentally. As you said, the mindset is so key. I believe that is probably the most important part. We could call this path a mental path, you know, of pranic awakening, because it really is about that. And so, and also maybe at the beginning stages, the first issues we can face is that we think it's only one part. Like even myself, when I was doing this transition, I went, let's say, I became vegetarian in 2000, and then between 2000 and 2011, I tried by myself, not knowing anything about that, fasting, raw vegan, mono diets, and all these things. And I was still at high school, and I was just doing that by myself, going to school, not eating, all of that. But I had no idea this was possible. I could just feel how energized I was. And I wasn't telling people, only my mom knew, because obviously she was living with me, so she could see, and she was getting worried. But apart from that, everything was all right. I just didn't know about that. But then when I knew consciously, because I remember I was in Australia, and my mom gave me a call, and she was telling me, oh, Mariam, do you know it's possible to live food free? So she was the one then telling me, which is funny. And so 1 year later, I'm transitioning like consciously on that path. And because I was committed as an employee, working full-time in Paris, and having this mortgage, and I bought a place to live in Paris, so that was expensive for me. And all of those commitments, like financial commitments, professional commitments, made me realize that even though my physical body was able to sustain itself on juices, I couldn't. My life was too much
demanding,
of a mess.
too demanding, too much financial responsibilities and challenges.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's when you start to understand that you need to grow your level of freedom in other areas as well. It can't just be the food aspect. It has to be all the areas
so
as well.
Valuable. That is great information to share.
Absolutely.
It is, yeah, I believe.
So that's why as the life is really more demanding, it's harder to step away from the food. And if you can shrink your life down, then you'll find you'll be able to live easier in a food-free environment.
That's right. At least at the beginning, yeah.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because going back to my walk, that was the thing that did it. When I slowed down my life, that was the start of it.
I see.
So you brought that up.
My life is still so busy. My life is still so very big and full, and my responsibilities and my financial commitments and my overhead and my family and all of that is so very, very large right now that that's probably a part of my challenge.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
Okay, Because if you can make it with this challenge, sorry, I just say that if you can make it with all the challenge you have today, you're going to be great, even greater after, I want to say, honestly, from experience, that works well.
And I'm glad y'all brought that up, because food is about 10% of living food free.
Yeah.
Everything else cover every other asset of life, your finances, family, your friends, your workplace, because those are all nurturing us, if we realize it or not. Those are other forms of nutrition. People have, because even when I teach now, I'm teaching at a whole nother level of, see, we used to be you are what you eat, but now it's you are what you think.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with old belief systems, there's a saying that says breaking up is hard to do. So, and that is some really serious stuff. And even here in Israel now, I got a talk coming up, and it's dealing with the body as a tool for your spiritual growth, how it's a window to the invisible. And when people start understanding this, everything you do, what you say, you think, that does mean something on how the body is being nourished. This is a whole nother ball game.
You're bringing it to a moment-to-moment basis, that in every single moment of the day is an aspect of you becoming food-free. You know,
absolutely.
How you're interacting with the moment in your present moment is an aspect of whether or not you're food-free. Because
being a breatharian is a walking meditation.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's a full-time meditation then. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're always focused on your body, how you feel all the time.
Yeah.
That feeling that people get in meditation sitting there, I'm feeling like that walking down the street, riding a bike. It don't matter where I'm at. The energy's running. That's why I tell people meditation is the foundation of living on prana.
Excellent. And that makes so much sense to me, because that's where I came from, is meditation. And that's you know, a big pull for me, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. So that's why at the retreats, I even serve food now. And that don't mean nothing on what takes place energetically. The people by their nature start setting down the food, because that's a real life scenario. The kitchen is right there, and they automatically say, okay, y'all, we're not eating tomorrow. But that's what you're going to face when you go home, when people are eating and stuff.
Yeah.
So I created a real life scenario that's successful, but people are really learning how to meditate. Learning how to grab back the driver's seat of your mind and stop letting the monkey drive.
Yeah.
Miriam, can you share more about your current eating then?
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So for you to understand now, or for everybody to understand, I'll just go a little bit backwards. So I did a transition, so-called Pranic transition, in 2012. And so yeah, at first I was feeling fine on juices, but the rest of my life was a bit of a mess, just to say a bit. So I understood that, because I was getting very sick then, you know, going to work, I couldn't just do it. At some point I had to quit out of physical and mental sickness. And I was facing myself, I couldn't just leave like that Paris, because I had this place that I bought, that I literally just bought 2 weeks before doing my Pranic transition. So
too much responsibility, too much physical responsibility and burden upon you.
Yes, exactly. And I couldn't, so I couldn't sell it. It was too early to sell it because of the interest and all that. And I tried to rent it. See, life will always kind of help you in exactly where you have to grow, So I tried to rent it, but because I bought such a small place, I couldn't rent it. It was illegal. So I was facing situations that you attract when you do things that are illegal, you know, like fines to pay, these kind of things. I really went, you know, low in that stage to understand, you know. So I couldn't rent it, couldn't sell it, had to live in it, and had to find a way to, you know, pay for it. So I started to work by myself as an entrepreneur, as we say. And through that, I think working as an entrepreneur is such a great way to learn about yourself, to grow you beyond fears, beyond beliefs.
So true.
Yeah. It's like a spiritual process in itself.
It is.
And so when you have that, because you don't have any choice. You have to rely on faith. You have to take action. You really, you can't just wait the end of the month for money to come. You really have to take actions. Wise actions as well, compassionate, and really serve humanity. So a whole thinking and meditative process, I believe. So this on top of working on the food freedom aspect, because I was still working on the food freedom aspect, but step by step, I understood that I had to work on other areas of my life. So and I was doing like one action at a time instead of having three. I was vegan by then, so instead of having 3 vegan meals a day, I was having 2. I started having 2, and when I was fine with that, I started reducing. I started having 1. Now, sometimes I was going a little bit backwards when life was too challenging for me. I had to go a little bit back. It doesn't matter. I think it happens to probably all of us. It's okay as long as we know.
Great to hear that. That is so. I'm so happy to hear that.
Oh yes, because otherwise we are so strong. We can be so strong with ourselves, and it doesn't work. We have to always remain patient and loving ourselves really, and accepting where we are. And I think it's better most people ask a question, how much do you eat and when do you eat? But I think it's better to ask a question, why do you eat? And maybe when then, but like the why. And when we understand, then we are able to heal one step at a time, because it's really a healing process. Like for me, sometimes, I mean, I don't know now because I don't really travel, but when I used to travel a lot or regularly, I was eating because I hate flying and taking the train and the bus and being like so fidgety, you can't move around, you have all those people around you and babies crying, people coughing and all. I don't like very honestly.
Discomfort, basically. Yes, discomfort.
Exactly. So I don't know today, but like a few months ago, it was that. So during those periods, even though I wasn't eating on a regular or daily basis, during my traveling, I wanted crisps and fries, like very unhealthy type of food. But at the beginning, I was just eating like big loads of that. And at some point, the next stage, I was asking, okay, Mara, why do you want that? Okay, that's the first. You start to be conscious that you are, what is this? You start to be conscious that you are what you're doing. That one of the first steps, being conscious. So you start asking yourself, why am I doing this? And then you enter the layers. First layer, you understand, okay, I'm in a different place. I'm out of the ground. For me, like being grounded is very important. And I kind of, that was like a challenge for me as soon as I was not so grounded. So like anything that is like rollers, biking, skates, flights, all those things that put me away from the ground, in other words, that can be a challenge, or that used to be a challenge, you see? So that was the first layer for me. I was telling myself, okay, that's because you're kind of shaking your grounding. So that was one answer. Now if we go deeper, second layer, so everybody is free to go as deep as they want, okay? But I think the best way is at some point you go deeper and deeper and you understand, and then it becomes faster for any time you want to ask a question in any situation. You get it? So second layer was, okay, why do I feel not so grounded? And if I remember, then you go back to maybe previous memories and you remember, well, yes, this reminds me when I was traveling from where I was born, Reunion Island, to France, a country I grew up in, and it was challenging because that was when my family split, my mom and dad, and so I felt ungrounded, and it was hard and unpleasant. That is a second layer.
That's a negative association that you made between flying and breakup of your family, and that's emotional stress, and then you want to heal that and manage that.
Exactly. So actually the food in that process, you understand that you've been using food to heal, right? But now, instead of using food to heal, you use something else. I believe you use meditation, because this is a process of meditation. And the more you meditate on that, so you can sit at some point and meditate like closed eyes, or any ways you want to do it. There isn't only one way to meditate. You can meditate as best it is for you, for, chanting, mantra, anything. So, but when you replace that food by meditation and basically a conscious process, you start nourishing yourself in another way. And magically, tling, the fries and chips disappear. You see? So I think that's, people can do that for anything when they want to eat, asking ourselves why we do that and when. So I was doing that when I was traveling, but it can be any other time. If I work on something that I don't like a few days ago, I was working on translating video. I still do that because I'm in the process of, transitioning to something else, but I was still doing that, but I don't like that. But I'm good at it, but I don't like. So when I do that, I know I have something like a banana. I had a banana that time because now I feel more, I no longer have the fries, but I have a banana when it's like that, when I feel like, but I know why. So now, although I could do different, I still do that because I want to be able to do this project the way fast, and because I kind of push myself when I work. Okay, that's something. So yeah, but for anything, if it's challenging to you and you want to eat, that's probably a reason, something to ask yourself and work on. How can I make it better? How can I make this practice something more nourishing to me? And if there's no way to do that, well, try to find a way to stop doing that. And that can be very challenging. Knowing that you're doing something that you don't actually like, but you're still doing it for any reason, whether you don't want to say no, whether you don't want to, you are fearful to move on, to quit that. It's very challenging to accept sometimes, I believe, that something is no longer for us. And accept that where we're going, maybe the unknown, but that will still be better than what we had previously.
So you're talking about changing habits. You're talking about changing behaviors. Great thing for the new year is that people need to, develop new habits and new behaviors for the new year. That's what we're trying to do, is break the current habit of reaching for food or reaching for incorrect food or wanting to reach for different food than we currently are, moving from processed foods, hopefully moving a little bit away, transitioning hopefully from the meats, hopefully moving to more raw, live food. This is the direction we want to go because we want to put in high energy foods into the body to try to lift the body energy up higher, so the body becomes more of an attraction for information, for knowledge, for understanding, for wisdom, for awareness, for a deeper understanding of self. And the more that we understanding the self, the more we're able to manage the energy that we're putting out.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's
and
right.
I like how both of y'all said that, because the message that I give people now is basically, I don't teach you how not to eat. I teach you how to eat yourself to food freedom. First, learn how to eat.
Oh,
eat
yeah, very important.
Foods, get more energy into your body. And when you see yourself improving and getting healthy, then the backing up of food will happen by its own nature, because you want to stay healthy. You want to stay on that frequency, and you start rising slowly.
Exactly.
So I like it.
So you start feeling the higher energy, and then it's not like I'm giving up meat. It's not like I'm giving up fast food. It's like I'm getting so much more energy and I'm feeling so much better that I'm not giving up anything at all. I'm actually gaining. So you know what? This is not a sacrifice. This is a win.
Right. Absolutely. That's why this is a feeling state you're going into. See, it's one thing, like I tell people, sometimes we act like, since I'm on Pranic, I don't remember what food tastes like. I remember what Salisbury steak and gravy tastes like over 20 years ago. That was my favorite dish. I remember what the avocados taste like and stuff like that. However, I got to the point where I outgrew it because I don't like the way it makes me feel.
Yeah.
So you're getting a new love affair. Because we are creatures of pleasure and habit, so you're always going to seek pleasure. That's why you don't want to beat up on yourself. It's not going to work. But you're going into a new pleasure. So you're always going to stay in a feeling state.
Okay, so guys, both of you, please take turns commenting about people eating around you. I'll tell you, for me, Monday to Friday, I'm trying to not eat. If I have to, I'll just try to use raw juice Monday until Friday afternoon. But as soon as it comes to the weekend, I've got 3 kids and a wife, and I can hear the bags of chips rustling around, and I can smell the French fries cooking in the oven, and I'm done work, and I'm home. I'm home with the family now, and this is the time where I try to I relax and eat with my family. But talk to me about people eating around you.
Okay.
I personally don't have that no more because I made the choice to not eat socially. I'm not saying it's going to be like that forever, but at the level I am, I believe it's helping to not have that. So I gave myself the freedom because I don't have, a family, husband, boyfriend, kids, all of that. I don't want to have that. I'm happy without. But my life is meditation, and I could say I dedicated my life to that. So I guess, I live by myself and I don't have these things. And the people I know, and I do socialize, I want to say, I think it's also important at some point. And I socialize with people who understand and who either are on that path as well, which is possible, and who understand, and we hang out together without having to eat. So there's so many things you can do without eating. And I think it's, as you said, it's not like, just like for the food freedom, it's not about quitting food. Exactly the same for socializing. It's not about, it's about finding other ways to socialize. Socialize around working out, socialize around dancing, socialize around a movie, socialize around playing games, social games like cards or Cluedo, anything like that. Socialize around hiking, going into nature. There's so many ways. That's one thing. Now, if you want to be part of a social gathering around food, what I do or used to do when I was facing this situation, I would entertain people. I would perform. I would either play the game of the waitress to, help and serve people, or I would play the violin. I used to play the violin. I would do a play, anything that really makes people happy, because that's the way I believe that people will always remember this moment as a joyful and entertaining moment, especially if you have kids, especially if there's children around. I think people have to rethink and be creative about the whole social gathering. That's very key. It's about being creative on that path and happy and live in abundance. Really, really, really want to be clear on that.
Very good. Very good advice. Great information. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Tom, what would you say about people eating around you? Does that challenge you, or do you just avoid it, or does that not even bother you anymore?
Oh, for me, actually, it don't bother me at all. Actually, I'm looking at people saying they really don't, even though I'm not judging, they're doing a lot of harm to themselves. So that's the eye I see through. Now, as I teach in the retreats, everybody had their own schedules in life. And what you said is a classic schedule of being with the family. They're still eating and stuff. That's why I ask people, ask yourself, see, there's many different ways and levels on how to apply prana. When you have a household like that and the kids coming up, you don't have to be totally food free altogether, because that frequency is not fair to the whole family.
No.
You understand?
Yeah.
So when I was raising my son, I chose to eat with him every other weekend. And when we ate every other weekend, believe me, I made it a good time when we did eat. But I kept that type of route. Now, the thing about one thing in life that's going to take place, that's called change. And as my son got a certain age, one day he came at me and said, well, Dad, I don't want to hang with you this weekend. I'm going to go hang with my friends. I was sad, but at the same time, I was happy, because I get to go continue my evolution. So now I get to apply prana differently due to the situation I created. Now, of course, he's grown, so I live a life, again, alone. That's what I choose. I also deal with the celibate brahmachari energy. So I'm alone all the time. But even when I'm around people, like I said, it don't bother me at all. You would get to those stages where even when people say they're hungry, that's actually how their mind's perceiving it. For a long time, I don't even know what that is actually. You're either going to do it or you're not, So it's how your perception is receiving it. But again, like when people are trying to make this transition in a busy household, that is a challenge. Nobody's arguing that. But like I said, it's how you're you're going to apply prana. And like what I tell people, when you're raising a family, at least keep health in the forefront. See, one thing about my son, you know, he learned about health. That was the #1 message. And even though he's on his own now, he got that up under his belt to keep health. And he also, I didn't even force food freedom on him. He know the meditations, and he went through an 11-day retreat one time, but no eating or drinking, like it was a breeze. There's a YouTube video on that where he's really explaining to people.
I've seen that, yes.
Yeah.
Right, the power of meditation, really working with it for 4 months straight till he energetically got stronger. Because it's all about energy again. Yeah. And then, like I said, when you get to a certain vibration and stuff like that, you start seeing things differently because your mind opens up. So again, when I see people at a table sitting there eating, for me to jump in is not even there at all. And like I said, I don't judge them at all. Like Miriam was saying, I entertain myself with other things and conversation and stuff. But on another level, when I look at the food, I understand it's doing some real harm to people. Food will kill you, and it has been killing people, making them sick, especially if you abuse it, and apparently if you don't know what you're doing. This is a very serious issue.
Agreed. Okay, so going further, you've already touched on something that I definitely want to, you know, open up the envelope on here. You talked about the sexual energy. This is a big one. This is a big one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because we've all been told, you know, I notice it now, my 14 and 15-year-old daughters, you know, the cool people now at high school are the ones that are having sex. You know, it's cool to have a boyfriend. It's cool to be engaging in relationship. The first thing we're supposed to do, we're supposed to get married and have kids. This is what we're supposed to do. And then, you know what, we wake up at 40 or 45 or whatever, and we go, hey, wait a second. What have I got all around me? And is it exactly really what I want, or did I just do it because I was supposed to do it, you know?
Right. And see, I can relate to that because I grew up in that same situation. I mean, you know, I grew up, you know, being popular and stuff like this, you know, growing up. So, of course, you have a lot of females after you.
Yeah.
And in my neighborhood, the more girls you have, the better off you are.
Yes,
so I grew up with that 100%. So even when I learned about celibacy and stuff, and when I teach it now, I understand there is stages dealing with your age, how you growing up, just like food. It's the same challenge. So even when I went through those stages, like some people, you know, they talk like they just did it overnight. I don't even talk that way about food, and here I am food free. Now, for me to be brahmachari right now or celibate, that didn't happen overnight. There was many times, again, just like food, I failed. I had to be easy on myself. You know, I had to lock the door. But over a period of time, it got stronger and stronger. And again, you go into a filling state because through all the meditations and stuff, you will feel your energy, that sexual energy, really getting stronger, better in your health, sharpening your mind. And you get tired of working on it, then losing it, working on it, then losing it. Yeah. So now when I started really keeping the house, you want to see the expectation or the potential to see how far to go. Because sexual energy is a creative force and it does not stop. Just at the retreat, I told the people, the only chakras you got to really focus on food freedom is your first 3 chakras. So you can become food free through proper sexual cultivation.
Interesting.
You can hit food freedom through that level right there if you really understood. So basically your chakra, if your root chakra is blocked up, the other chakras, your third eye, nothing is open. I know people are fooling themselves. They're playing these games. You have no spiritual energy if that heat is not, because heat love to rise upwards. That's just physics. And if it's blocked up, it shows in your physical body. If the physical body is sick, that is an indication right there that the root chakra is blocked.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So Miriam, specifically about female sexual energy, I made a post about the female sexual energy, and I called it the ovum. Is that correct terminology for the female sexual energy?
Oh, can you say the word again?
ovum?
Over. I'm not sure in English, honestly, but maybe, honestly, I'm not sure about the scientific or mathematical words, sorry. But I do understand energetically how it works, but then about the terminology, I'm not sure.
The female ovulates each month.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
so her sexual energy, is it the ovulation energy, or is it the orgasm energy for the female? Like for the man, orgasm and semen release happens, but for ovulation for the woman happens every single month without any sort of.
Oh, well, so the ovulation brings a type of energy that does feel like can make a female feel like more excited or more, wanting, in other words, to have the sex. Now, I believe when we meditate, I honestly believe today, without meditation and forcing ourselves to not have sex when this happens, especially if we are already, very sensitive and very highly attracting having a lot of energy, that would be very hard to force ourselves not to want sex or not to have sex if we have the opportunity, because it has to come from a meditative state and really using that sexual energy and transmuting it through the meditation. It's like a whole process. Because from my experience, I can say today, when I was forcing myself not to, and I was this ovulation happening, that was really, really challenging. And I think it's the same for everybody on that path. When you refine your food intake in quality and quantity, and you really start working on growing your energy, that with chances are this will be a challenge on the way. And that's a major one.
So do you, can women engage in sexual activity and not lose their sexual energy?
I don't believe in that. I mean, maybe it's possible. I don't believe in that, because I believe it's playing with fire. And I wouldn't, at some point, you don't want to do that. Because why? See, when you do that, when you try to have sex, like tantric sex or sex without, spilling your fluids, because that's really what it is about.
So that's it. Like for the woman, but the woman doesn't, like, her ovulation comes every single month anyways.
Yes. Oh yeah, but there's a story. Yeah, there's something around the fluids as well. You see,
it's the release of the fluid. So it's the orgasm, is it, or just the fluids of intercourse?
Well, even just the fluids, because we lose fluids.
Yeah. Right.
So it's still energy, right?
Right. So if we're letting that fluids go, the sexual fluids go, that's reducing our energy.
Yeah, exactly. That happens this way. Absolutely. Just like for men, we think it's only a man thing. Well, it's more obvious for men. But women also have fluids and can lose that.
Right.
I think that series coming up soon, dealing with female brahmachari.
Yes, absolutely. So, I believe, I was going to say, I believe as long as we eat, we want to have sex. And as long as we have sex, we want to eat. It's like
they go hand in hand.
Yeah. So if you're trying to stop one but not the other, that is uneasy. I believe from my experience.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's much more easier in anyways, both ways, when we commit to really focus on, meditation, and then we don't think, we don't want the food so much, and we don't want the sex either so much. It's the whole package, in other words.
Right.
But we can't go through that forcing ourselves. It has to come through meditation, I believe, from experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you're dealing with the exploration of consciousness. And your body is your consciousness.
That's right.
Your reality is your consciousness.
Yes.
That's what you're exploring.
But also, when you see the results, I'll be sharing just one experience, okay? Like, it's very intimate, but I'll share anyway. When you have sex with someone, you exchange DNA, you exchange information, you exchange so many things that we don't even think about. So at some point, when you raise your energy, and like for me, when I was like really getting healthier, like, physically, mentally, energetically, and I was already vegan and starting meditating more, But I had that sexual experience with someone who was not at my level. He was like basically having more weight and all of that. Okay, won't go into details, but this led me to put 10 kilos of weight within a couple months only, just because I'm not saying it was bad, nothing bad about that, but this is what happens because your energy gets affected by other people. And it's not meaning that other people have bad energy, but when you put so much effort into working on growing your energy, having a better energy management, really bettering yourself. It's like working out every single day at the gym and eating rubbish after. You don't want to do that, okay? It is the same thing with sex. The same thing.
It absorbs memory.
Exactly. So naturally you want to, change that, I believe, on that path.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So just to wrap that up, there is obviously a passion, a sexual energy. It's the same energy of us. It's at the lower chakra. It's the loving energy, the force energy, the passion, our desire. It's in our root chakra, and that energy, if we consciously invite it up and do the meditative work to try to lift it up, we can bring that energy up and allow it to open up our heart chakra, our throat chakra, our third eye, out the crown of our head. We can lift that energy up into the higher levels in our life, and we can do more other than just release it and have sex.
Yeah, and rejuvenate, change your body, change your stress. Change so many things that we don't even think about.
Heal the body. Use it to heal the body.
And your body will change. Your physical appearance will change. You'll have that glow that happens when we save that sexual energy and we use it differently. Very honestly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, so talk to me now about like bringing this to the new year, to the people that are just getting started. Like, should they be goal setting at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, why not? Anytime.
Right.
What do you think?
It depends.
You guys believe in setting goals for the new year?
It depends what your beginning of the year is. But yeah, I know what you're saying though. Yes. What makes us different than other animals is that we have a consciousness, but we can make a plan. And people should cut some type of plan out for themselves. Don't make it too rigid. You understand? Make something that you know you can accomplish and begin from there. And watch yourself improve, because it's like we said, we're in an age now where health is basically being advertised on TV, and it's coming out more and more what people need to start doing with themselves. So yeah, people need to start making a plan for 2019 and really take it to another level. And now with technology, if you know how to use the internet correctly, there's so much information that'll help you. It'll tell you how to go on a juice fast. It'll tell you about water fasting. It'll tell you how you'll feel in 24 hours. It'll tell you how to take advantage of. It got all types of meditations, all types of meditation music. Now, I know porn is the biggest website that's looked at on the internet, but if people direct their desire to really want to learn, the teacher's right there.
There's free information all over the internet. There's knowledge to be found, right?
Absolutely. Take advantage of it.
With that goal thing in mind, I've always in the past been a big goal setter at the beginning of the year, but one thing I've learned and grown in 2018 is in this idea that, and I credit you, Elatom, for a lot for this, is moving into the food-free lifestyle and being a big motivator for me in that direction, is connecting to that power within me and realizing that I have this power within me. And actually, if I just try to focus on staying inside of that power, that creates what is best for me. So I don't really need to visualize so much what I need to create, but more I need to focus more on keeping my energy coming up and as high as I can, so that I just kind of pull towards me the optimal circumstances in every regard.
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm living a life that to me is normal, but it's like I'm living a life of a miracle. I'm living in heaven. Yeah. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, I'm a self-sustaining being walking around, don't need nothing. This is like perfect. Wow. And everything, I don't even have to think about it. It just lay itself out. Like I wanted to massage today and I ran into a Thai massage place and got it done, you know?
That's fantastic. So like, you know, just opportunity, information, knowledge, wisdom, experience, people,
Right.
things that you need are just kind of arriving because you're keeping yourself in the right energetic space.
Right. And now listen at this. When I told you I started my journey, first what I did was I quieted my life and I gave away a lot of materialism, didn't even have it. Now to this day, I didn't really accumulate no more materialism. All my belongings is with me, but I got more things and more access to things that I have ever had in my life. This is amazing.
Yes, awesome lesson.
Wow.
It's not what you carry outside, it's what you have within that is a guarantee.
It's guaranteed.
And abundance. Yeah.
And we live in this energy. Around this energy, it's going through us. I mean, it's like a genie in a lamp. And I'm just not making this up. When you keep your energy at a certain vibration, no bad things happen in your life.
That's right, yeah.
Everything works itself out.
Very nice. That's kind of what I'm feeling is happening to me this year, is that I didn't feel the need to be so focused on goals as I felt the need to be more focused on just being in the present moment and staying with my powerful self.
Exactly. I like that, your powerful self.
That's a new awareness for me that's just come about.
Exactly. Just stay in yourself, your powerful self.
Very nice. Very nice.
And even when we limit ourselves, that's still powerful.
As long as we're present with it.
Exactly. Because you're having an experience.
Right.
So it's wonderful.
Yes. And as I like to say, if we add meditation in our daily life, we can achieve anything with meditation, just meditation, and live this life of miracles starting from there. And everything else will unfold and follow.
Awesome.
All about that.
So would you say a really great goal for 2019, maybe just starting to meditate first thing in the morning and at the end of the day, bookending your day with some mindset and bringing yourself to that most powerful center space, affirming for yourself, I am the power in my life. I am the creator of my world.
You got it, yeah.
Exactly.
This is what, just those simple actions make a huge difference. Really going back to basics, you know, and coming closer to nature, all those things, simplicity makes magic, really.
Yeah. Meditation is medication.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. So the mindset is managed and centered by the meditation. We try to bookend the day with that, and then during the day we want to be moving because that's important, isn't it?
Oh, exactly.
Oh yes, and moving, you use your consciousness to also make it a active meditation. In other words, you see what I mean? Yeah, that's the point. And then, as you said, it's good to like sit and go more maybe into introspection or do positive affirmations. But all of that is like different types of meditation practices. But the whole overall action is a meditation in action, right?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So we got many different forms of meditation: light, vibration, sound, movements. Yeah. That's what Tai Chi is, a meditation. Pick the one that fits you. Pick the one that you love. Because if you got something you really like and you love, you'll stick with it. You don't need to try to do what somebody else does because you might not like it and you won't stick with it long.
You can get in shape playing tennis, going for walks, going for jogs, going for bikes, going for yoga. There's a zillion different ways. Which one do you like? And get into it and do it daily and do it routinely and get into a conscious habit of doing it frequently.
Exactly. Right.
That's the key, yeah.
Because prana or energy is movement. It is movement, but you want to move it the right way. So therefore, when you start gaining energy, when you get healthier, you're going to get more energy. You're going to get more movement. So at least guided, don't think you're going to be sitting there. That's not going to happen. If you don't have nothing to do with that energy, you're going to keep grounding yourself back out. This is a time where you can really start thinking about those things you've never done before, these things you really want to try, because now you got the energy and the time to do it. It'll take you on a journey. You're trying to keep up with it. Absolutely. This is a powerful energy. We're just scratching the surface.
Awesome. Okay, so we got mindset, we got daily exercise, and the exercise is a big key too for movement in general, all exercises. just for lifting up energy. Like you talked about sexual energy, a great way to raise up our energy.
Oh, yeah.
But the exercise generates energy.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And one belief we can have, sorry if I can stop, one belief we can have, and I had also that, is that if I am on the food freedom path and fooding, then exercise is not so good, or I shouldn't do so much, or like decrease it so that I don't lose energy. And then I realized I wasn't feeling happy, and I started to exercise, and that was giving me energy even though I wasn't having food. That my mindset shifted to another belief that I didn't have. It's possible to exercise without food, even without water, and have more energy. That's very important to understand. Yeah.
And it raises those positive hormones.
Yeah.
The word exercise starts out with the word EX. And EX is a word within itself. You're doing an exorcism on the body. You're casting out demons, blockages, obstructions. So when you exercise, you're doing an exorcism on yourself.
Wow. Clever. Anytime is here.
I like it. Now, one thing I do with my exercise, and I encourage my clients when I'm doing my programs, is I'm not big on the big heavy weights anymore. I used to be big on the big heavy weights. I don't think that's necessary or required.
Oh, not at all.
No.
Because that actually builds more blockages. When they get too heavy like that, I understand the sport, but when you start aging and going more into wanting that proper energy flow, you don't want to tear down a muscle on that type of level anymore.
I agree. It's
a whole different ball game.
That's right.
Yeah. We want to move the body. We want to move that lymph around. We want to get the heart pumping. We want the circulation. We want the release of hormones. We want the release of endorphins. But we don't really want to like tear the body down and destroy the body.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
We want to stimulate the body. Stimulate the body, not annihilate the body.
Yeah. Right. Two different ball games.
Yes. Okay, so we got the mindset, we got the exercise. Mindset's the big key.
Yes, it is.
Have that mindset in the right place. You know, you got to do the daily movement. And then what's the food advice for people that are maybe just looking at this new year and they want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, or 100 pounds this year? What's the takeaway for them? What do they need to hear, guys?
Well, instead of the word diet, I don't use that word no more. I use our window of consumption. And when you're dealing with the window of consumption, you ain't got to jump from one to another. That's too much right there also. See, back when I used to lift weights, it was like way back when I was a teenager, we used to get these weightlifting magazines, and the slogan was no pain, no gain. But today, it's no brains, no gain. So those foods you really love, if you try to suppress something, eventually it's going to come back up. But just don't eat just to be eaten. You want to enjoy yourself, but in your new window of consumption, at least bring in some higher energy foods and allow the other ones that don't serve you no more to just slowly fade off. And that's the advice I give on that level right there. Because food is just 10%. But if you start doing those meditations and exercise, now keep in mind, when you first start exercising, you're going to want to eat more. Yeah. That's natural. But over a period of time, especially if you keep meditating, then the food part will kick on what to start laying back on. So just take your time, go with the flow, and listen to the body.
Miriam?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. I would say, yeah, I used to be very inflexible, wanting everybody to be vegan. Now I'm more flexible, and I understand that it's not so easy for everyone, maybe. So I'd say if we grow the nourishments of our lives, we do more things that we love, okay? We meditate more, we work out more, as we said. Naturally, we will forget about eating, more and more. And then naturally, we will want to eat healthy. Because really, when we want to eat unhealthy food, that's because we already have unhealthy habits. But when we grow our health through healthy habits, then the food will change automatically. Because food, really, the diet or the window of consumption is already it's just a byproduct, right? It just happens as a consequence of all of the practices we do. I strongly believe.
And I like to tell people that we're such creatures of habit, and we also if we want to try to manage our food, we do have to start, I think, introducing some boundaries. But you can't try to make the boundaries too tight, right?
That's right.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You got to allow for some freedom. If you try to say you're never going to eat a bag of chips in 2019, you're never going to make it.
Oh yeah. No.
Right.
So if we could say, you know what, let's create some boundaries. I say if Monday to Friday afternoon, you can try to be eating in a healthier way. So whatever that level is for you, is that going to be meaning like adding a little bit of fasting daily, maybe the intermittent fasting, adding more raw food, adding more vegetables, obviously, reducing the fast foods, reducing the processed foods, reducing the cooked foods as much as we can, Monday through Friday, and then give yourself that room on the weekend, birthday parties, obviously holidays, weekend treats. Allow yourself to relax again, and then try to pick it back up and make a commitment. And give yourself some boundary that gives a bit of freedom, but then also expects that you're making some sort of commitment.
Oh, exactly.
That's right.
That's it. Be easy on you. See, the slogan is basically love yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is the most important thing, isn't it? Isn't it the most important thing is learn. This is the Earth School is to teach us this valuable lesson.
Yeah, big time. And that's it. Love yourself.
Yeah.
Have fun on the journey. Because even spirituality back in the day, when I went to India, I talked to this one guru's wife and he passed away. But she was talking about the level of how they used to put themselves through things to beat up on themselves spiritually to try to make the vibration go up higher.
Yeah.
And it's not even like that anymore. Like I said, pick a meditation that's good. The energy flows on its own. You don't have to force it. So much free energy that we're living in that's around us. This is awesome.
That's right. Well said.
So I think I'm hearing the message that mindset is the most important aspect of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
The meditation is the biggest part of this.
Yes. That's it.
Even the movement and the energy, raising the energy is a massive part, even more important than the food.
And keep this in mind, the energy raises on its own. And the movement, one of my favorite Qigongs is standing like a tree. The reason why is you don't move, but there's movement going on inside of you. Nothing stays still.
This is right, yeah.
So I like this message because I think the message has been, it's 80% nutrition, it's 90% nutrition, and we're flipping that.
Right.
We're flipping this for 2019. We're saying it's mindset and movement and the food, let the food happen on its own.
Exactly. It's a low vibration, it'll fall off. It's nothing. This is so easy. I'm trying to get the right words for
it. I love it. I love it. It's so easy to live beyond food.
Exactly. This is easy.
Yeah.
I gotta say it. If a person can wake up on what they're living in, you're living in this universe that nourishes us on all types of ways. You gotta wake up to it. It's a consciousness. It's a perception.
It's a choice. It's a decision.
It's a choice. Exactly.
It is, yeah.
And it's a choice that's predetermined. Meaning these predetermined forces happen on their own. It's just that the person is getting in their way.
Oh, yes. Because really, as you said, the mindset, if we can be at that stage during the meditation, because it's easy during the meditation, when we come out of meditation, because we are back to a human state with instinct, thinking process going on, and the life around us. But during that meditation period, if we can feel that stage where we are a free mind, really, like there's no more fears, no more beliefs. This can happen. During the meditation, you understand that it all comes through that. And anything that you may feel is actually coming from the mindset. If the feeling of hunger, this is the mind. That's
the mind.
Yeah, it is. And it's not easy to understand that when we are out of this meditative state.
Right.
But that's why the meditation is so important, because then you realize whatever you were feeling, the emotions you went through, the thinking that you had, is all about that mindset.
It's all in the mind.
Yeah, a free mind could achieve anything, like literally almost overnight. Even breatharianism, because nothing would be in the way. Nothing.
Nothing be in the way.
Yeah.
See, because like you said, Miriam, hunger is in the mind. It's not in the body.
No, it's in the mind.
Sex is in the mind. It's not in the body.
Same. Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is awesome.
Wonderful. Okay, now let's let me just close it up a little bit here. Elatom, you're coming to North America.
Oh yeah, in June. As a matter of fact, Miriam's coming also.
Miriam's going to be there too?
Yeah.
I am planning to go. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is what I'm planning. Is I'm going to plan a date around when you're coming, and we're going to do a Canadian Breatharian retreat
That'll be awesome.
Right here in Burlington. I'm going to find a location. I'm going to get a spot, and we're going to do a Canadian Breatharian retreat. It's going to be a 3-day retreat. We're going to have Elatom and Miriam here, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be learning and growing and stepping forward in 2019. That's my big one for this year. I'm so glad to be teaming up with you guys.
I'm so excited.
So let's watch for that. Let's watch for that. I'll be promoting that very soon, and we'll get some final dates for everybody.
All right, that'll be great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is a time for the people to feel the experience. Just let the belief system drop and come into the experience.
Exactly.
It'll last you for a lifetime.
Breatharian Retreat Canada. Southern Ontario. Yes, I like it. I like it. Wow. What a goal. That inspires me so much. I love it.
Yeah. See, like I said, I was being nice earlier when I said this knowledge is going to be common knowledge in the next 10 years. I think it's going to happen in 2019. It's going to be common knowledge all around the planet.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going fast.
We're moving fast. We're going to break through this year.
We're moving real fast.
Awesome. Awesome.
So hold on to your seatbelts.
Awesome. Okay, so hey, 2019, thank you so much for this conversation, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Great to share with you. I always love it. I always grow. As I'm sitting and talking with you, I've been feeling the prana just coming up my spine. I'm just feeling it coming up. You guys are just inspiring the heck out of me. So we will talk some more, and we'll say goodbye for today.
All right. We enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much.
That was a joy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.